weekly report is the Eagle news, notes, and analysis you need.
Go back. He looks, fires for the end zone. Intercepted. The 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown. Not where. Midfield. He's going to go. Deshaun Jackson. He steps up his head and falls forward. And he fumbles the football, and the Eagles have it. It's gone. And the Eagles win.
It's all birds. All the time.
And welcome to another special edition of the AATBirds Weekly Report. I myself, Johnny Uleka, is joined by special guest Gayle Saunders from 4th and John, and back for the first time since he went on to do his fantasy and left us, Mike Bauer. I know he's waking up, so you got to give him some time. He did fall asleep.
Are you kidding me?
It's for you, bud.
Yeah, we love that. But
Crispiest mic ever, dude.
It's going to be an Eagles all-time draft. It's a fun idea, especially with what's going on. Really nothing. Nothing's going on. So we have to come up with something to talk about, and I feel like this would be pretty good. We did this when we started originally back in, I think, 2020. We did this. So there's been some new players that have been added who will be probably on this all-time draft. But I think it's a great concept, great idea, because it gives us to put together our own type of team. Basically, out of all three of us, who's going to have the best team? Now, I get to pick three. Mike gets to pick first, so we have to give him some time to wake up. So when he's woken, then maybe
I need some paper to keep track of everything. I can't.
Yeah, well, when
your paper.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who you pick first.
Yeah,
I don't know. I was hoping to not have to pick first, but here we are.
that's the dilemma, because we're going to be picking, and the way it's going to go snake draft. I think it's better that way. It's more fair that way. Maybe not for Gayle because he picks second every time. So I don't know because it goes. But I feel like it's a fun thing. Three of us, it's a lot easier. Originally I was going to do it. It was just going to be two people, but I thought that's a little bit, I don't know. I think three helps because it gives you a little bit more of a variety of certain players that you can pick. And basically how it's going to be is you'll pick your offense and defense. You don't have to pick in any certain, we don't have to all pick quarterbacks first, then running backs, then do that. We can just pick whatever and fill our roster, but you can't pick two quarterbacks before you pick an offensive lineman. So it's not like there's no backup quarterbacks. There's nothing like that. Because, you could come up and I could pick two quarterbacks and leave somebody with, someone not as good, like a,
Mike McMahon.
There you go, bringing some old ones in. But
Kevin Cobb, yeah.
There's
my 101, buddy.
Gardner Minshew.
Yeah. Gayle and I were throwing some special teams players at each other today. But we're going to do the offense. However you want to do it, you can in terms of the skill position. If you want to go three receivers and one tight end, or go two receivers and two tight ends, that's up to you. But no fullback. We're not going to do a fullback. But quarterback, running back, receivers, tight end, and then the offensive line. Now with the offensive line, you can't just put players. No. All right. We'll go fullback. We'll go fullback.
You basically just said screw Cecil Martin, screw John Ritchie.
Keith Byers,
Josh Perry.
I like Josh Perry.
But let's do it that way. The offensive line, you can't have somebody who played offensive tackle and just move them into guard because you want to. Yeah, they have to at least have played that position. So
Todd Herman's is out.
No, Todd Herman's played guard and tackle, so he could put him anywhere you want, just not center.
Jeff Stoutland can make anybody play tackle.
Well, who says you have Jeff Stoutland? Exactly.
We were talking earlier about you really can't go wrong with this draft.
You can't.
You can be nostalgic with it. They could be your favorite players. If you got if you're picking Freddie Mitchell first, that could be a problem.
Well, I guess there could be some problems when you.
If you're a big fan of the 4th and 26, I'm not going to be mad.
No,
I'm saying.
No, you're right there. I understand that.
You could have been like 12 years old, and that was your first game ever. And okay, well,
yeah. Well, we could pick players that very nostalgic. I could always pick Antonio Freeman as one of my receivers. Yeah.
Low
I
key.
actually had an Antonio Freeman jersey. I made my parents buy it for me when they signed him because I liked him when he played for Green Bay.
You would.
I was watching him in the Super Bowl recently against Denver. Put up some big numbers. I was like, who remembers Antonio Freeman? But this guy talking about has a jersey, Freeman Eagles jersey.
Yeah, I had some crazy jerseys, and that's another topic too. People's craziest jerseys. Bauer actually gave me one of his crazy jerseys to Keo Spikes. Good old 1-year Eagle there.
I bought that the week before he got hurt, by the way.
So you jinxed him.
Yes, I did. And I have that Jaworski jersey that you got to get for me at some point too, by the way.
Keo, a very nice guy, man. I did shoot with him. I had to follow him around for a little bit. He's the funniest dude, man. Neck still.
Yeah, I was going to say the biggest
size neck.
I think he's actually up for the College Football Hall of Fame, I believe, which hopefully he makes it. But with this, we are going to go to Mike. You're going to have to wake up a little bit because
I'm awake now. I'm good.
We need to start.
How many overall positions do we have?
So if we're going defense, it would be 11 defenders.
Okay.
Depending, you guys can do whatever you want in terms of a 4-3 or a 3-4 defense. However you want to place that.
Can I make a suggestion? Just so that we're not drafting until midnight, why don't we do this? Have one interior defensive lineman, one outside defensive lineman, one linebacker, like one cornerback, one safety, and then we can do the same thing for offensive line, one tackle, one interior lineman. And then that'll obviously give more to spread around. Does that make sense? So we're not drafting an entire roster. Like, I know what you're saying, but we'll be drafting.
This guy's just putting straight venom.
Yeah. We'll see how fast we go. If we have people who go quick.
This guy wakes up and then changes the rules.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what to tell you. That's just how I am. All right, so I'm going first. Now, do I have to start with offense or can I start with defense?
You can go wherever you want. Pick whatever position you want to pick.
This is hard because
I don't care.
There's a lot of guys that I want to choose from. I feel like the one-on-one's the hardest, but there's also no wrong answer. But I'm going to build my team the way the Philadelphia Eagles build their team. I'm going to start building on the line, and who better to start with than the minister of defense, Reggie White, going off the board at the 101. I knew he wasn't going to make it back to me, Gayle. It was it was between him, it was between Doc. Those were the two I was choosing from.
I'm kind of mad that you went there, but I respect it. I respect it.
That's a good pick. So Reggie White is off the board.
Since you took my guy, I'm gonna have to go with the juice man, Brian Dawkins.
Damn.
Just in terms of
the third pick,
setting the tone.
Shit. See, that's where it's tough because you guys take two absolutely phenomenal Philadelphia Eagles.
I got the throwback helmet, mini helmet signed by Doc himself.
That's nice.
Yeah, love it.
So
I wanted to get it signed by somebody that wore it. By the way, I hate those uniforms, but I wanted the mini helmet because they wore them.
So I am going to go, since now I have two picks, so I will go back to back. I won't take tons of time. I have my list of my 100 Philadelphia Eagles of all time that I've been working on. So that gives me a little bit of a advantage with all the players in front of me. But I'm going to go with my first pick is going to be Jason Kelce as my center.
A great pick,
by
the way.
Thank you. And then I am going to take I'm going to go with a linebacker. Eagles don't like to value linebackers, but I do. And I'm going to go with Chuck Bednarik as my middle linebacker. And if Jason Kelce ever gets hurt, I could just put him in as center as well. So it also takes away a center for you guys. So basically double dip there. But back to you, Gayle.
Let's see. This is tough because I love Randall Cunningham. I think he was before his time the ultimate weapon. I feel like if used properly, he could have done some more amazing things.
I agree.
I know Donovan numbers and the whole line shebang. But maybe I can wait. Maybe I think you might pick Randall, Johnny.
I don't know.
Okay, I think I can wait. Maybe I can wait on him.
It's all about strategy.
Hey, I was thinking, if we're talking about interior defenders,
Oh boy.
beefing up the defense, because I'm thinking about my defensive front here. Nostalgic purposes, maybe I'll go Jerome Brown.
Oh, that's a great pick.
It's a very, very good pick. You go defense for your first few selections. Now it is up on to you, Mike.
I love the Jerome Brown pick, Gayle. I just want to say that. And, unfortunately passing away way before his time. Just where his career was headed, we're talking probably would have been an all-time great. Not just Eagle, but just all-time NFL great. So rest in peace, Jerome Brown. Unfortunately, the Eagles did not bring it home for Jerome that year like they could have. Wish they would have. But you know what I'm going to do? So I got the wraparound now.
You do. You got
So
two
we're doing
picks.
Oh, this is going to get sexy.
In snake drafts, as I'm the fantasy football guy. So I'm going to go back on the line, not the defensive line. I'm going to switch over to the offensive line. I got to protect my quarterback. John Runyon, welcome to my squad. He was such a good addition to this team as a whole. For those of you who forget, John Runyon was brought in to block what player?
Michael Strahan.
That's right. Not a lot of there's a lot of younger Eagles fans out there. They think I'm an old head. I'm not even 40 yet, but I remember that stuff. John Runyon was great. And you know what? I like nasty players. I like guys that have no problem throwing somebody around. That's what I want. All right. This one might not be very popular, but Runyon's got a block for somebody. Went in blocking for one of the greatest Eagles running backs of all time, Wilbert Montgomery. Talking about a guy probably wouldn't pass a physical in today's NFL. Did it on AstroTurf. A 6th-round draft pick out of Abilene Christian. Listen, for you younger people, go back and watch Wilbert Montgomery highlights. He was electric. I wish I could see him play in today's NFL. Would have been fantastic.
It's an interesting pick. Now it goes up to you, Gayle. So many good players left on the board here.
I mean, this is tough because I'm trying to think of school of Andy Reid. Get your tackle. You get your corner. You get your QB, or do you get your offensive tackle? I mean, the left tackle.
One's already throwing Trent Cole. Eli Jacobs throwing Trent Cole in already.
Shout out to Trent Cole. Was at his football camp last week. Sit next to him and Brandon Graham and Vinny Curry just talk about like moves. I'm like,
Gayle, I want your life.
Well, next time you're around, I will bring you out there.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, that sounds pretty.
That was oh my God, Trent Cole. Yeah. Because I'm thinking Jason Peters is a phenomenal left tackle, and I think he's going to the Hall of Fame. The Cowboy thing kind of fucked me up a little bit.
Oh, I hated that.
Yeah.
Just from a diehard perspective. I wait for him on the turnaround.
Is he going to be there?
I get my left tackle because you build through the trenches. Jason Peters, left tackle.
Okay.
he would be mauling dudes. Like you talk about any younger lineman, any old head lineman, he'd be mauling dudes.
Little other fun fact was Harold Carmichael and Tommy McDonald both played for the Cowboys as well. Also Eagle greats, unfortunately.
Let's erase that from history.
And Terrell Owens.
NTO, you're right. NTO.
Can't forget that one.
So coming back to me with double picks here, looking at the defensive line, I still think there's some players that will be able to come back to me. I'll be able to get them. And then, like I said, you talk about the offensive line and building through the trenches. I think I have to start looking that way. I'm going to go with, unfortunately, recently just passed away, Bob Brown, who was an All-Pro, Pro Bowl, Hall of Fame offensive tackle. I'm going to go with Bob Brown as my right tackle. Then my next pick, think that I'm going to go with Brian Westbrook, running back. Give me that weapon out of the backfield. And do not think he's going to last. So I got to grab him. So it's now back to you, Gayle.
That was an interesting curveball there. I didn't think you were going there. I thought you were gonna. Is this where I go? But see, I still feel like there's other options that I can go. So I feel like I need to hit the home runs when you can. I think
It's getting tough. You got to have some type of strategy here, knowing who's going to be there back when you come back and who may not.
I'm going to go because Harold Carmichael, yes, he's a Hall of Famer. T.O. also a Hall of Famer. I think I can get my other guys coming back, but I think T.O. could be off the board by the time. Just from my gut feeling. T.O. is a beast, and he definitely transformed that offense. He was productive on multiple teams. He was an asshole on multiple teams. But at the end of the day, there was only one T.O.
Yep.
So you better get your popcorn ready. T.O.
I thought he was going to come back to me. I was going to pick him, but I went Westbrook.
That's what I'm saying. You surprised me.
So we got that. So now it goes a double pick to you, Bauer.
It's going to go a double pick to me, right back where it needs to be. All right, so I have got a defensive end, I have got a tackle, and I have got a running back. So now it's time to start really, really building our roster out. We got some good foundational pieces. You know what we do need? We need a linebacker. We need one of the best linebackers to ever play in an Eagles uniform. Johnny, any idea who I'm going to take here?
I know.
I think you're probably going Seth Joyner.
I'm actually going with Bill Berge.
Ooh, I forgot. You're going the nostalgic feel.
My dad's an old school guy, so that Dick Vermeil era has been like pounded into my head. My dad still thinks that Dick Vermeil is one of the greatest coaches of all time, not just Eagles coaches. So, and I can't say that he's wrong. Wish he could have won it here. Yet another reason to say F the Raiders. So, what I'm going with. One thing that all teams build around, and this just isn't in the NFL, this is in fantasy football too, is the quarterback position. Without a good quarterback, you're nothing.
Go.
And I will say that I think he was the victim of having a coach that outcoached himself and was a little too smart at times. But if Donovan McNabb was in today's NFL, he would be putting up numbers like nobody else. He would be putting Lamar Jackson to shame, and there is a chance that he could be putting up better numbers than Jalen Hurts because Donovan McNabb has a cannon for an arm. Give me McNabb. That's the guy I want. And until Jalen Hurts just gets a little bit more there's a lot of people saying that Hurts is the greatest Eagles quarterback of all time. It's too early yet. It's too early for that. Okay? I understand where you're coming from. It's just too early. Pump the brakes. Give me McNabb. That's who I'm building it around.
I'm glad I didn't have to be torn between a decision. I'm glad you got that off your chest.
See, now you could take
It helps
Randall.
you.
Now I can respectfully get back to my dream team, my real dream team.
Gale's team's coming together nice.
Yeah, I agree with him there. I agree with you on that. Go ahead, Gayle. Add another stud to your lineup.
Because I'm thinking I could easily add some juice. There's some some really good running backs still left, but where do we go? Oh, I mean, let's not God, there's cornerbacks too. Let's not forget.
A lot of good players. It's tough.
It's a lot. We cannot forget about the cornerbacks either. But Are we going right tackle too?
Yeah, offensive tackle. You can pick 2 tackles. They don't have to, as long as they play tackle. Try and fill out the whole lineup.
How about we go? Trying to figure out nostalgic reasons. Ricky Waters, loved him. He was phenomenal.
No LaShawn though.
Yep, that's what that's where I was going. I said, but Shady was built different. I'll go Shady to add juice to this offense running game.
That's a good pick. Brings it.
I do agree with that pick. As much as Ricky Waters is one of my favorite players growing up, but I think in this case, LaShawn McCoy meant more to the Eagles than Ricky Waters did. I'd say Ricky Waters probably meant more to the 49ers.
For who? Yeah. For what?
Yeah, that too. So I remember when he said that, my dad was pissed. So pissed.
He started following me on Twitter, and I was like, "Do I just jump in your DMs now? What do you do?" I was like, "Ricky Waters." Still haven't said anything. I'm a nerd. Fanboy.
I used to get made fun of all the time when I was in. So he was there in like 95. I was like 10. I had this Ricky Waters shirt, and I loved it. The second it was out of the wash, it was on me again. To the point where my dad had to go probably to Kmart, whatever at that time, and buy me another one. And I used to get made fun of because I would wear it all the time. But I loved Ricky Waters when I was growing up. So
I had a couple of Water shirts too. Yeah. Still pictures. Yeah, I should actually. I should do that.
I'm gonna look for one. So
now it brings it back up to me for 2 selections here. So thinking about where I want to go, looking at the players still available. Of course, there's a lot of great players still available. But I think that I want to go offensive line here, but there's so many still left. And looking at the other positions, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get Harold Carmichael with one of my selections. And then I'm going to also throw in, I need somebody with some speed. I need somebody who can stretch the field for me. I got a big guy like Harold. I need someone that can absolutely game breaker. And it goes by Deshaun Jackson.
Knew it.
So want to add those 2 pieces to my offense. And now it is back over to you, Gayle. See, now Mike grabbed the quarterback early. So really the quarterback, we can kind of see how we want to build the rest of our teams before we can add. So I think there's a lot of good quarterbacks still left.
So you guys go 2 picks. I go 1. You guys go 2.
I know. I was waiting for you to bring that up. But you're always in the middle. I have to wait now 3 picks before I get mine again. You never have to wait. The most you have to wait is 2.
It's true.
Which is every time, basically. But again, if you look at Gale's team, I think it's pretty good.
Because I'm really trying to build a juggernaut offense. And while you think T.O., I really do think A.J. Brown he's a phenomenal
That's some strength. If you
phenomenal being. There's not too many wide receivers built like him that we've had, just besides T.O.
Yeah.
I think A.J. Brown he's such a bully, man. But then you go look at some of these stats and what about Tommy? I'm sorry, Tommy. You're not. You're just. I'm not going to disrespect a legend. I'm just saying. Maybe I should go quarterback. Maybe I should shut up.
I'm not sure. Tommy McDonald, because Tommy McDonald was like 5'7". I'm not sure how much he.
Well, yeah.
Wes Welker type.
Hall of Fame, though.
He is Hall of Fame. I will give you that.
Yeah, when they threw the ball 10 times a game, I mean, let's be real here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
that is true.
I don't. Is this too early for A.J. Brown?
I don't think it's early for anybody.
I don't, to be honest with you.
What he did last year, his first season was monstrous. I'm going to go A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown is the
those two wide receivers right there are dominating.
Brings it back to you, Mike, for 2 selections.
I do want to let you know I did find a Ricky Waters jersey. It's in very good condition. I just don't know if I want to do the Kelly green or the new green. We're calling it.
I did have a Ricky Waters jersey, but I wound up selling it.
I have one.
Too small.
I did too, but there's no way I'm fitting in that jersey anymore. I can tell you that.
I wore number 12 in high school because of Ricky Waters.
Did you? Nice.
From Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. Yeah.
All right.
The real ones know. Johnny knows.
So I need some help in the secondary. That's what I need right now. And the good thing about that is there's plenty of it. I mean, plenty of it. But I want one of the best guys out there. Lay some people out on my team. Eric Allen, welcome to the squad. Love it. I was a big Eric Allen fan as well. Who's the first Eagles players you guys ever remember cheering for? Mine was Randall Cunningham, personally.
Mine was Ricky Waters back in 97.
Yeah, it had to be.
And Irving Fryer.
I mean, Randall did it for me. Yeah.
I'm a little younger.
Speaking of which, I need someone for him to line up against in practice. This is a tough one. It's splitting hairs here, but I do need a wide receiver, and I am actually, Johnny, going with Irving Fryer as my next pick. Imagine if they would have had a decent quarterback to throw the ball to Irving Fryer then instead of
1 year with
McNabb. Was he with McNabb for 1 year?
That was one of his best.
Was that 99?
Early years. Yeah.
Oh, man. I mean, McNabb wasn't that great that year, but
he was young, though.
Yeah, so it's a shame. I just remember Ty Detmer to Irving Fryer.
Rodney Peete, Ty Detmer, Bobby Hoying. Ugh. Brings it back to you, Gayle.
Say anything bad about Bobby.
Ooh. I'm trying to think in my head, like Hall of Fame status, like guys that are Hall of Fame.
Maybe guys who are soon to be Hall of Fame, too.
Because I think God, there's guys that you just forget.
It's not easy.
I was going to say Lane Johnson as a right tackle. And maybe I can wait. You drafted your quarterback, Johnny?
I did not draft my quarterback yet. Now he's rethinking his decision.
Can I wait? Maybe.
I don't know that answer.
Yeah, this guy. I can hear the tone in your voice that Randall Cunningham is not making it back my way.
I do have two selections after you pick.
You know, the one thing about this is, like, as Eagles fans, is picking a quarterback. That's the hardest position, really, because in the history of the team, we had
no
some
slam dunk.
What's that?
There's no slam dunk like a
That's what I'm saying.
You know, certain teams have. You look at the Dolphins. Yeah, Bob Greasy
Packers.
was pretty good, but it's Marino. The Colts. Yeah, they had Johnny Unitas, but again, Peyton Manning. Like this one's a little bit tougher because I feel
Well, if you go Donovan longevity and numbers, you're like Donovan.
yeah,
But if you say, Super Bowl, you're like Nick Foles
yeah, but see,
just for 1 year.
sorry, just for
4
one year.
games.
You put Randall in this day and age.
Oh,
I think it's.
Oh,
You said Lamar for McNabb. I'm thinking this. Lamar is like Randall, but Randall is bigger. His arm is probably better.
McNabb would smoke Lamar Jackson's numbers, man.
You're making my choice easy for me, guy.
I know. I figured you'd go that way.
I'll go Randall.
All right.
I can't hold out too long. Right. And again, for those who didn't get to watch him, insanely talented. Took the league by storm. I mean, the guy was like dating Whitney Houston. That's like, say, Jalen Hurts was like dating Rihanna at that time. Like this guy was all over the place. He was a rock star, bigger than like Randall Cunningham.
And I'll tell you what, when he really put it together too was when he went to the Vikings. Man, they should have won the Super Bowl that year.
Was it Gary Anderson?
Yeah.
Yep, Gary Anderson.
And that was like the only kick that he missed that entire year too. Just insane.
Hello, Mr. Anderson.
He was paid off, man. He had to have been paid off.
He was betting before the betting was bad.
I'm going with that.
I'm gonna go with one of my picks here, and then one of the 2 picks. Gayle mentioned Lane Johnson. I'm going to snag Lane Johnson here.
It's a good pick.
Were you going to go Randall if I didn't go Randall?
I was going to go Randall. So no matter what, I was going to go Randall with one of these picks, but I have to alter my selection there. So I am going Lane Johnson. Now I'm going to go. I have to start looking at my defensive side of the ball because I don't have much in terms of defenders. And I don't really think this guy's going to be coming back to me because his name has been mentioned a couple of times. I'm going to go with Seth Joyner as one of my outside linebackers there. So I got Bednarik and Seth Joyner. So now it brings it back to you, Gayle.
Can you imagine having Seth Joyner mad at you?
Can you imagine having Chuck Bednarik mad at you too? Those two?
Okay. All caps, Seth Joyner. When Seth Joyner goes all caps, that is a scary thing, man.
Oh,
that is a scary thing.
I agree with you.
So we're only picking one DT.
You could pick 2.
It's going pretty quick. I think.
Yeah, it's going pretty quick. So go ahead.
God. Trying to think, man.
It's tough. There's some good defensive tackles in this team's history, and some very underrated players who really played well.
Because I essentially I wanted Lane Johnson. John Brunyon's gone, but if we're gonna go 2 tackles, Trey Thomas was.
Trey Thomas is still there.
Yeah.
Trey Thomas was a beast.
Super underrated in his era because of the guys who were also that he didn't get the Pro Bowl nods, the All-Pro nods, because guys like Jonathan Ogden and Walter Jones and Orlando Pace, Willie Roaf, those guys, basically the names overshadowed, I think, in my opinion, of the play of what Trey Thomas did on the field. Just my opinion.
Is it too early for Trey Thomas now?
Well,
I almost feel like it's too late for Trey Thomas.
I have my 2 tackles. I know you have 1 tackle, Mike, and then you have 1 tackle. So the tackle position for me is set, but for Mike has 1 more left. And when you look at the tackles that are left, the guys from the 80 team, Sizemore and Walters, but Trey Thomas he's an Eagles Hall of Famer.
I guess I'll go Trey Thomas.
Trey Thomas.
Locking up my line here.
brings it to Mike for 2 picks.
Do you remember when they wanted Jairus Bird and they signed Malcolm Jenkins instead? How much better that worked out for us?
Sheesh.
You're going to go with the pick I was going to get.
I'm taking Malcolm Jenkins. I mean, look,
Wow.
we need to stop talking about replacing Brian Dawkins. Brian Dawkins hasn't played in this city for well over a decade, okay? He's been replaced by Malcolm Jenkins. These news guys, they're going to be coming up and they're going to be going at it. And, you know, Jenkins was solid. He was better than solid. He was spectacular. I don't think he missed a game when he played here, right? I don't think he ever missed a game. I mean, he played through injuries. He very rarely missed a snap. And he killed somebody in the Super Bowl pretty much. So
Who plays for the Cowboys now?
Yeah, I know Brandon Cooks. He won't run over the middle like that again. So I'm taking Malcolm Jenkins with my first pick. I think I'm going to do just what the Eagles do as a whole. I'm just going to punt the linebacker position for a little bit. Yeah, we're just going to keep pushing that back. But I had my next guy queued up here. Scrolling. Forgive me. Sorry. I got to hop on this now because you know what? When we're talking about filling our roster out, there's really only one tight end that I want. Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz, Dan.
Can I take somebody that's still playing in the league? Is that okay? I mean, he was an all-time Eagle great.
Well, I would say so if we're picking
How
A.J.
about it?
Brown and stuff like that. That's
Yeah. Well, I mean, but not. He's still playing in the league, but not for the Eagles.
That should be fine.
All right, perfect.
I don't think that's a big issue there. Brings it back to you, Gayle. Think smart. Remember, I got 2 picks coming.
See, I think I gotta start paying attention to the defense, and if I'm going school of Andy Reid, get yourself some corners. One guy who doesn't get talked about enough. He actually works for the NFL now. 5-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, 2002 Walter Payton Man of the Year, Troy Vincent.
Great
Good.
pick.
Good pick.
Great pick.
Good pick there.
I'm kind of jealous of your Malcolm Jenkins pick, to be honest.
Yeah, I know.
That
I was
was
going to
good.
pick
That was-
Malcolm too, and I changed
Love
it up.
Malcolm Jenkins.
So
Still do.
looking at my 2 picks here, one, I'm going to go. I need to get someone on the line, defensive line, and I'm going Clyde Simmons,
Ooh.
one of the defensive ends for me, and I need to get a corner, and I don't know if I'm going to want. There's a lot of really good corners that this franchise has had, and I'm going to go with one that's been in the news recently the last couple of days, talking a lot, but he did show out, and I believe he's one of the best corners in the last 10 years, no doubt, is Asante Samuel.
Oh, great pick.
Get my ball hawk.
Wow, I hate you.
I know. I read your mind a little bit. So that brings it up to you, Gayle, now. Good.
I didn't even think you were going that way.
Well, once the corners start coming off, I have to start to think that way, because when you look at one with Eric Allen pick and then Malcolm Jenkins and then you go and Vincent, I'm like, I can't keep waiting because, not that I'm going to be left with guys who aren't good. You want some of the bigger names who played for this team. That's my thought on that. Now, I'm not sure what you guys are doing in terms of 2 linebackers and a nickel corner and more secondary, or if you're going 3 linebackers and regular. That doesn't matter. You do it however you want. Just
I could double down and get it. I was really trying to go.
Troy than Asante.
Yeah. Do you like Lito better than Slay in terms of talent? Slay is a good ass cornerback.
Yeah, Slay's very, very, very good.
Crafty.
I like Lito a lot. I think the player on that team, I think Sheldon Brown was way underrated. I think he had a lot into those two. I love Bobby Taylor though. He's a typical that big
Nice.
long corner. They drafted him because of Michael Irvin, which some of the younger kids don't know. They don't even know who Bobby Taylor is, but
Yeah,
I interviewed Bobby Taylor 2 years ago, and I was holding back the fanboy hard. I was like, man, this guy, Bobby Taylor was tremendous.
oh yeah, Bobby Taylor was so good. You know, it's just
And then you can get real funky with it and go Al Harris.
that secondary was unbelievable.
Secondary.
I feel like Al Harris was better elsewhere than he was here.
Green Bay.
Yeah,
But he learned in Philadelphia.
he did. He did. That's true.
Yeah,
I got
they
him on
got
my
him off waivers from the Buccaneers.
My defense was-
1998. Go ahead.
Line is looking real thin.
You need to add some pieces to that. Just don't pick my guy.
Who are you gonna go? What's his name? I mean, I could pay respect to the linebacker position in terms of
Still some good ones still out there.
the Axeman.
Hmm.
Talk about tone setter.
Mm-hmm.
A tone setting team.
It adds to the hard hitters too. You got with B-Doc.
It's a team made of nails. Or I could go hit them trenches and get a Brandon Brooks at guard,
All pro.
all pro. Man, Trent Cole was he second all time in sacks?
Second or third, I think. I know Reggie's won by a far margin. I think
Yeah.
Clyde maybe two.
Yeah, he might be third.
Tim, I did get Concrete Charlie with my, I think, second pick.
Shout out to Tim. Shout out to Tim Perkins in the house.
Yeah, Tim. I like his avatar.
Did you make that, Johnny?
Yeah.
I was gonna say it looks like something you would make.
Now Fletcher Cox is also an Eagles all-time great too. Let's
Yes, he is.
let
You got some tough decisions.
yeah, because I only get one pick and then I gotta wait two.
The hand you were dealt.
You got
Snake
robbed.
eyes.
Safety. Jeez. Cornerback.
Safeties there's still some really good safeties there with Hopkins and Waters, and you have some good play, Rodney
people
McLeod, stuff like that.
People forget about Hopkins. Wes Hopkins.
Tim Hawk, Damon Moore.
Sean Constantine.
Oh,
Well, I mean, we got Brandon Graham at defensive end for all-time play to win the Super Bowl. But Trent Cole.
Derek Barnett's still out there.
Hugh Douglas, Mike Mamula,
Jerome Curse. The freak.
William Fuller.
I do need some edge pressure, though. This is tough, man. Or I could just go Axeman, throw it down in the middle. I'll go Axeman.
It's a good
All
pick.
right, Jeremiah Trotter. That is a very good pick. Gives you a good start to your linebacker room there. And Mike, it brings it to you now.
All right.
Where are you
Well,
going next?
That actually worked out pretty well for me, Gayle. I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking you were gonna take one of my next two guys, but I need to shore up and continue to shore up my defensive line. That's who my next two picks are gonna be. So my first one's going to be Trent Cole.
Oh,
We
you
talked
best.
about Diamond. I thought you were going Trent Cole. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I would have pivoted, but I mean, we're talking about a diamond in the rough. Trent Cole, 5th round draft pick, and here's another guy, not a diamond in the rough. He was just a diamond. Give me Fletcher Cox right up the middle. Look, I know people have
Both hunters.
What's that?
Both
Yeah,
big-time
that's right.
hunters.
They are both hunters. I didn't even think about that. I wonder if they've ever went hunting together.
He was dishing out some hunting tips. Or hunting. I'm not gonna say because he's a hardcore hunter. We talked about Carson Wentz's hunting skills.
Yeah, you got that bear I saw. So I wouldn't want to be around one of those things.
He said that Carson Wentz probably risked his life being out there to get that bear.
Well, he can't run anymore, so yeah, probably. But look, I understand that Fletcher Cox isn't what he once was, but guys, he's still a good player. Okay.
Oh, no doubt.
And you know what? When you're saying he's overpaid, Jeff Flurry's paying him, not you. So don't worry about it. Just enjoy the game.
That's true.
Does the NFL pay him or do the Eagles pay him? I don't even know. I guess it's the Eagles that technically pay them, right?
Yeah, I would say the Eagles technically pay them.
And then I got my DT. All right. My line is coming together really nice. Good luck running on me.
Brings it to you, Gayle, now. Your player was taken. Now you got to come up with something else. Giving too many hints. That's the problem.
I'm making myself a nice list over here of guys I want.
You share that list so that we could take them.
Well, where should I
sleep
put
on Keith Jackson? Let me tell you.
Wasn't he one of the first tight ends? No, that's a great pick if you take him.
Old.
Yeah, but wasn't he one of like the first rookie tight ends to ever go over 1,000 yards? Right? I believe.
I know he.
Or it was damn close to it.
Keith Jackson. Keith Jackson, the football player. You got to make sure you put that in. So he had. Yeah. Well, his first 3 years with the Eagles, he was a Pro Bowler and an All-Pro. And he only played 4 years with the Eagles. That's the crazy part. In '92, he was signed with the Miami Dolphins.
That's it.
I mean, to be honest, I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to pick my guy. I'm not going to give any hints out there. Defensive end. I'm trying to think who's left.
Connor
BG.
BG, Hugh Douglas. You still have guys like Carl Hairston and Claude Humphrey and, some older guys, William Fuller. Mike Mamula. But, you got guys like that.
Let me get a Brandon Brooks, offensive guard.
Brandon Brooks going with the guard.
It's a good pick, though.
All
right. Solid.
2 picks for Johnny.
2 picks here. I am going to go with Brandon Graham. Been waiting to pick him, and you keep saying it. Hopefully, I was hoping nobody would pick him.
Well, he just got picked.
He did, and I selected him. And I think I am going to go with Darius Slay as my cornerback. So it gives me Brandon Graham and Darius Slay, which throws it back over to you, Gayle.
Let's see. Defensive ends.
That's right. You still haven't gotten to defensive end yet.
Well, cornerbacks, we have, I can go, let's see.
Lido, Sheldon,
Santi's off the board.
Herman Edwards, Lido, Sheldon Brown.
Bobby Taylor.
Roynell Young.
Bobby Taylor.
He really was.
But Lido was a level of consistency. 2-time Pro Bowler.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think Bobby Taylor was ahead of his time.
I mean, you look at some of the players now, the long, lanky corners.
This is where my defense is my front is needs some juice. The front needs some juice. I can't skimp.
But you have to look at it this way. Yeah. Mike has his defensive ends. I got my defensive ends.
Yeah, you got your pick.
Well, I'm gonna. How about I throw Hassan Reddick in there?
You can always do that. Yeah.
Do you consider him more of a defensive end or a linebacker? I guess is the only question.
Maybe I'll put him as my linebacker.
You can do that.
Get creative. Yeah, I'll put him in there.
Are you taking Reddick?
Hassan had an amazing season last year.
He really did.
Absolutely.
He was a game changer.
Remember when they signed him? People were just like, eh. And I was like, yeah, all right.
Temple Zone.
They signed him, and I said, hey, if he can give you 10, and I said it this way, in my head, I'm like, that is a great deal for a player that if you're able to get 10 sacks out of him, what he has gotten the last 2 seasons, it's a win. And he winded up almost doubling that when you look at what he did even in the postseason. I think he had almost 19 sacks or 19 and a half sacks around there with the postseason included. Is absolutely crazy. And unfortunately, don't want to bring it up, but I have to. When you look at the Super Bowl, if the field wasn't as slick and everything, I could see him getting in a sack or 2 just away. I'm sorry, but Andrew Wiley wasn't going to hold him down. And we'll find out how good Mr. Andrew Wiley is when the Eagles go and play Washington, since he is now the right tackle of the Washington Commanders. So we'll see how good he is, see how much of a game he talks, because he did talk a little bit after the Super Bowl, how they shut them down. So we'll see how good of an offensive tackle he really is when the Eagles play Washington twice this year.
I do want to say I'm proud of all my fellow Eagles fans out there. We cried less about losing the Super Bowl than the 49ers did about losing the NFC Championship game, and they're still crying and crying and crying about the NFC Championship game. Guys, Brock Purdy, Trey Lance, throw whoever you want out there. You could have brought in Jimmy Garoppolo. Maybe we would have only won by 20 if you would have had a healthy quarterback. I don't know. Stop
40 whiners
crying. It's over. It's done.
Stop crying.
And it's my turn. And things were different in the mid-90s. Bobby Taylor, he's still out there.
Oh, you bastard.
I'm sorry. You're going to hate my next pick, too. One of the most underrated linebackers to ever put on an Eagles uniform, D'Amico Ryans.
Ooh.
I loved D'Amico Ryans. I wish, kind of towards the end of his prime there, but just a solid, consistent, all-around player. I love D'Amico, and my defense is looking really, really good here. I'm liking it. I got pretty much everything, I think. I think I need one more safety. But Macho Harris is still out there, so I'll come back to that in a little bit. But those are my picks, Bobby Taylor and D'Amico Ryans. And Gayle, it is back to you, my friend.
I didn't pick a defensive. I pulled a trick with Hassan Reddick. We have only one running back?
Yes. Because we remember we're doing a fullback, too.
3 wide receivers?
Yep, 3 receivers, tight end, and then the offensive line.
I was thinking Jason Babin. Just kidding.
I mean, if you need pass rush only and you don't want anyone to play the run, I guess Jason Babin would be a pretty good pick, actually.
Wide 9, this thing?
Yeah.
But I don't know about you guys. I hated the wide 9. I hated it.
Jim Washburn.
Good old Jim Washburn. That was like the end of Andy Reid. That's the tough part when you think about Jim Washburn, the wide 9, 11 and 12.
Let me get I do think. Oh, I'm having like a brain. I mean, Bradbury's a good corner too, man.
He is.
It's like,
It's
is
tough.
Bradbury better than Lito Shepherd? I think so.
See, that's tough. You can either go by longevity of what somebody did in an Eagles uniform, or you can go with, only one season. Now he's been in the league for a few, and he's been a really good pro, but it's kind of a toss-up a little bit.
I feel like Bradbury's a slightly more physical tackler, but I feel like Lito Shepherd was the better coverage guy and more likely to get the big interception at the big time, run it back over 100 yards against the Cowboys.
Twice.
Bradbury was second team All-Pro.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, either way, they're both great players. You're not going wrong either way.
That is true.
Yeah, give me Bradbury.
James Bradbury. Okay. Brings me now to 2 selections. So I'm going to go with the guard position. I'm going to go with Evan Mathis.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
A top guard in the league and a very good guard for the Eagles. And looking at the players.
You were going to do that to me.
See, now going defensive tackle. I'm going to go with one of my tackles, Javon Hargrave.
You bastard.
Man, I hit both of you guys with both of my picks.
The Evan Mathis one is the one that really pissed me off. Because the casual Eagles fan won't remember Evan Mathis. That's the problem.
I'm a casual Eagles fan, so that's where you went wrong.
There's casuals out there. She's sleeping 2 rooms over. She's a casual Eagles fan.
You red bastard.
And that brings it to you, Gayle.
It was like a sneaky, I was like, yeah.
Spider-Man.
Ain't nobody saying this one. Ain't nobody saying Javon Hargrave.
Yeah, I was surprised he lasted this long.
Weird. Defensive end. I mean, Hugh Douglas was
a wrecking ball.
It's not the most juiced up. Let's see. People forget about Derek, too. Not Derek Barnett, Derek Burgess.
That is true.
That is true. That's very interesting. He went on to Oakland and absolutely
Direct
tore it
shot.
up.
See, I gave you an idea. I just threw that one out there. Just dropped it.
He's not a guy that I would consider towards later, to be honest with you, just because he was good, but he was, to me, a little inconsistent.
He was hurt. That was his problem.
Yeah, I would take Javon Curse over Derek Burgess probably. Although Derek Burgess did have that huge hit on Michael Vick in the NFC Championship game. So, but the best hit of that game belonged to Brian Dawkins.
Also another hit in that game that a lot of people don't talk about was Hollis Thomas's hit on Vic. Vic jumped up, the jump going up the middle, and he got him, which was Hollis Thomas's first NFC Championship game. He missed the previous 3 with injuries.
Hollis talks about that hit on Michael Vick.
Yeah, I sent him a clip of it maybe a couple weeks ago. Because I was looking and I found it and I had to cut it and send it to him.
Malcolm Jenkins, Hollis Thomas should be considered to be on this list too.
He is on my top 100 Eagles of all time. He's one of the best run stuffers Eagles have ever had.
And an undrafted free agent.
Out of Northern Illinois.
Illinois, the Northern Illini.
Terrell Owens, AJ Brown.
You got a heck of an offense. Randall.
Another.
Jeez. You guys need some
Safety.
center.
What's his name? From Detroit.
Safety. Not the safeties I think of is Wes Hopkins, Andre Waters.
Oh, right. Ooh. Let's go Wes Hopkins.
Another heavy hitter.
But people will not even young heads won't really know how good Wes Hopkins was, but
No, but brings it to you, Mike.
Okay, I'm gonna cheat sheet back up here since somebody stole Evan Mathis from me. You jerk!
Shouldn't have shared your screen.
am I
I tell you-
getting jerked around that I don't get 2 picks in a row?
Well,
If we do the math there, quick math.
if we would have had 4 people like we were supposed to, then you wouldn't have been jerked around.
That is true. So good job, bus driver that was driving Chip around. All right, so I gotta admit, some of the positions that I have available yet, I'm kind of bummed because there's other guys that I would love to have that I'm just maxed out at those positions. So, what are you gonna do? Tell you what I'm gonna do.
That's what strategy is all about: being able to pick the right players and being able to strategically make your team the best.
You want to talk about guys that get forgotten about? Has anyone taken Mike Quick yet?
No,
Well,
damn it.
just did. Good. You deserve that. If anyone deserves that, it's you.
Yeah, that's true.
So, Mike Quick, unfortunately, his career got cut short because of a broken leg, I believe, right? Apparently, they
Yeah,
couldn't.
and he's had knee injuries too.
Yeah, they couldn't fix legs very good back then. Apparently,
That's Joe Theismann.
that was nasty. That was nasty. Let's see. So I'm going to need another one. I need a defensive tackle. I need another safety. It's too early for Macho Harris. I need interior linemen. the only
Macho Harris.
the only other interior lineman that I really want, and I keep coming back to him, is Todd Harriman's.
It's a good one.
I know he was drafted as a tackle, but I believe he played most of his career here as a guard. Did he not?
Yes, he played
Yeah.
over 100 games as a guard, or not as a
Yeah.
guard, as an offensive lineman, but he played a lot of that as a guard.
Yeah. So I know he can play tackle. He was, if we could get Jack Driscoll to be 75% of Todd Harriman's, we're doing okay.
So is Harriman's going to be your guard or your tackle?
I'm putting him at guard.
Okay,
right
just making sure.
Yep.
All right. So that you got Quick and Harriman's. That brings it back up to you, Gayle.
I do need another guard. People forget.
Don't go. I know what he's doing here.
It's not too early for Jamon Brown, Gayle.
Danny Watkins.
People forget how good Sean Andrews was.
Shit. That was going to be my freaking pick.
You know what, Gayle? I'm not going to lie. That is the understatement of this entire draft. People really do forget how good Sean Andrews was. He was great.
He was a great player. He had a back injury, dealt with some depression as well. Big
Mhm.
fan of SpongeBob. I had a good conversation with him. I used to follow him on Twitter back in the day. Funny dude.
Yeah.
But Sean Andrews was tremendous. And then his brother ended up playing here, Stacey Andrews.
Yeah, that's
Remember
not
that.
really that's like a sour because they gave him that big contract, and it just basically was to come over to kind of be there for. It wasn't a great situation.
It was
Wasn't
strange.
fair to Stacy the way everything. Yeah, but Sean Andrews was definitely somebody who was on my mind. But unfortunately, because I only have one offensive line spot left at guard, and Just trying to think what I want to do with that position. I may hold off a little bit. This is tough. So looking at what I have left, I have both safety positions, which I'm going to fill one of those now. I'm going to go with, a lot of people don't know of this name, but if you look up his stats, I believe he is tied with Brian Dawkins with the interception lead in Eagles history. His name is Bill Bradley. It's a throwback, but one of the best safeties in Eagles history. A position that they don't care too much for, but there's a lot of very good names who've played safety for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, this is tough. So where would I go? I still have the interior defensive tackle. I still have a linebacker. And I still have a safety. And then on the offensive side of the ball, I have receiver, tight end, guard, of course, quarterback, which I'll probably wait till last since you guys have already picked your quarterbacks. You know what? I'm gonna go with Dallas Goedert as my tight end. I think
Over Brent Selleck?
Yeah, over Brent Selleck.
Okay. It's more dynamic, but I think Brent was just, I guess we'll just use the term healthier.
Yeah, you could say that. I was thinking either that, or I was also thinking Chad Lewis, because Chad Lewis was a very underrated tight end, but Eagles have had a lot of good tight ends in their history as well. And of course, like you said, Keith Jackson before. But
Question: are we taking a kicker?
yes, that'll be last. We'll do
Okay.
our specialists last.
Okay.
I do think we should take coach too.
I believe that is what we will do as well. We'll go
All right.
coach, kicker. So after we do this, then we can then go with the coach, kicker, punter, and specialist. You don't got to pick it in the same order. We can pick those four then. But that brings it over to you, Gayle. You're up next. The positions are dwindling now on what people need.
I need some edge pressure. I'm gonna go also DT. I'm gonna say Ndamukong Suh.
Ooh, interesting.
He's a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer.
Interesting. That is an
Hall of
interesting
Famer, guys.
aspect to pull. That's
He's a Hall of
you do
Famer.
look at the name. You do look at the name. Brings it to you, Mike.
All right. So I'm back up, just looking at what I need. Fullback, I'm just going to wait on that. Need a wide receiver. I need a DT. I need another safety. But here's what we're going to do. Andre Waters was not taken, was he?
No, he was not.
Guess
Muddy
what?
Waters.
Now he has been. Give me Andre Waters. My secondary is, I believe, complete. It is. And then I need, since we're doing 3 wide receivers, had some injuries early in his career, could have been something really special. Only one 1,000-yard season. Jeremy Maclin.
Ooh, it's a good one.
Jeremy Maclin. I really was a huge Maclin fan. Just a guy that you saw the talent there. So, hurt his knee, all that good stuff. What could have been, but I got him. Got him on my squad.
Brings it back up to you, Gayle. Still need that edge pressure.
Did anyone say Harold Carmichael yet?
I have Harold Carmichael, yes.
Yeah.
Just trying. There's some good names left there.
Still need more edge here. We can go with Hugh Douglas.
Yeah, that's a great. I was just about to say, Hugh's still out there.
Funny thing with Hugh, funny fact here is, you look at Hugh Douglas. Remember when Andy Reid came in 1999? He made a offensive tackle George Hegeman run laps after a training camp practice that got a lot of pub and then wind up cutting him. Well, it's funny. In the 2000 season, the first playoff game back at the link since the 1995 wildcard game against the Detroit Lions, Hugh Douglas had a strip sack of Sean King. The left tackle who was blocking him was George Hegeman. It's a fun little tidbit, little
Fun
fact
fact.
there.
We call
This
that
guy,
poetic justice.
Eagles Almanac.
Yes.
He really is.
The
I don't think anyone could beat Johnny in this historian stuff.
we'll get a game show.
Maybe Ray
Eagles
did it.
history, put
Maybe
me
Ray
on it.
did it.
You know what? How about Reuben Frank? I'll challenge him to Eagles trivia.
Ooh.
I'm not sure he may block me on Twitter. I don't know, but I would challenge him.
I sense a tone in your voice.
Actually, no, him. I would like to challenge. No, I'd like to challenge him, but I'd love to do challenge DeCamera since he likes to be all big and boisterous. In Eagles trivia,
Oh.
that would be fun.
Johnny wants to smoke. Johnny wants to smoke.
I dig
Which
it. man.
actually he does follow All About the Birds, so maybe I should do a trivia contest with him on here.
You got your spurs on. You're out in the middle of the courtyard. You're like,
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
So looking at the spots that I need, looking at defensive tackle here, there's a couple really good names here. I'm going to go with a guy who had a very, very short career, but a very productive career. Unfortunately, he didn't get to play with Jerome Brown. Would have been fun to see those two guys play together. But I'm going to go Andy Harmon.
Ooh.
I knew you were going to go Andy Harmon, bro. I'm reading your mind like,
Got to go Andy Harmon. Yeah.
Johnny's a real one, man.
was-
Johnny's a real one.
It was between him and Corey Simon, but I thought go Harmon on
Corey
that.
Simon would have been a really good pick too.
Yeah.
For what it's worth.
With guard, you know what? No, I'm gonna let guard go. I'm gonna go back to the receiver position
Oh,
because
here we go. This guy. This is the biggest jerk.
I'm gonna go with Devontae Smith.
All right. Okay.
I don't hate it.
So I have the big, tall Harold Carmichael. Throw it up, he'll catch it. I have the speed in Deshaun Jackson, and then I have the route running of Devontae Smith. Brings it over to you, Gayle.
Okay. I'm gonna lock up that fullback position with one of the best of the best, and Keith Byers.
Ooh, that is good. That is very good. Your offense is cooking. Oh, I think you've muted yourself.
I said he's awaiting a pair of customs. I'm not sure when I'm going to get to this.
Brings it to you, Mike. What do you have left?
Well, I need fullback, defensive tackle, and interior line. So it's getting tough, but fear not. Do have a good defensive tackle for you guys. Got here the year after the 04 Super Bowl. Give me Mike Patterson.
Ooh, that is a good one.
Who's a really
interesting. That is interesting.
A guy that wasn't anything really flashy, nothing really special, but just a really solid, just big run stuffer. Yeah, I was a Mike Patterson fan. Remember when he had like that, was it a brain hemorrhage or something like that? At Lehigh? Something like that. Glad that he, recovered from that successfully. I think he played after that again, didn't he?
He played for the Giants, I believe.
Yeah, which I hate seeing our players go to
Division
the
rivals.
Giants. So what do I do here, Johnny? I need a tackle. I need another interior lineman. Do I take the first fullback off the board now?
Well, Gayle just took Keith Byers, technically,
That's
a fullback.
right. I'm sorry, forgive me. I was too busy plotting my next move here that I wasn't paying full attention. So do I take the second fullback off the board? I honestly do not know where to go.
You could go offensive tackle,
I could.
But
Having
again,
a problem thinking of what offensive tackle I want. That's the problem.
well, it's a problem that you have. How many tackles are there really? You look at the two guys in the 1980 team, and Stan Walters and Jerry Sizemore. You can always go Winston Justice.
Didn't Michael Strahan set a record against Winston
No,
Justice?
OC did.
Well, it doesn't matter. It happened against the Giants. You know who I'm almost thinking of, but I don't know if it works or not. I was almost thinking of Big V just for the versatility and what he did in the Super Bowl year.
What about Mailata?
Yeah. I almost feel like Mailata over Big V.
Because what do you have? You have Runyon, so you need a left tackle.
I do need a left tackle. That's the problem.
So I'm not sure which one of Sizemore and Walters. I think Stan Walters was the left tackle and Sizemore was the right tackle back in 1980.
Well, then let's go with, if Walter was left tackle, let's go with him. How's that sound?
Sounds it's your team, not mine.
Yeah, we're doing that.
Your team's owned by Norman Brayman.
Bottom line Brayman, bottom line Bauer. That's how we're doing it, baby.
Brings it over to Gayle.
I'm going to go with Keith Jackson at tight end.
That is another good
3
selection.
All-Pros.
Didn't you actually already take him?
3 All-Pros.
Nobody took him.
Really?
No, he got Keith Byers, Keith Jackson.
We mentioned.
We mentioned him. We
That's
never
right.
took-
I got
Wow.
Keith times Deuce. Okay.
2 Keiths.
Got some of that Kelly.
So, looking at what I need, I still need a safety, linebacker, guard, and then the fullback and quarterback. So I'm going to throw the fullback out, get that out of the way because I don't think it's going to last. I'm going to go Leonard Weaver.
I'm reading your mind.
That's a really good pick, dude.
Unfortunately, his career was cut short in that 2010
Injuries.
game, which is pretty crazy when you look at the players who got hurt with Leonard Weaver. Kevin Cobb got the concussion, were never the same. And Stuart Bradley got the concussion, I believe, and was never the same. So some injuries in that
later
game.
on-
Stuart Bradley.
Had some
Stuart
last-
Bradley was like fruit salad after that hit, dude.
Remember, we
That
thought
was
he was
scary.
going to be a thing, too.
Mhm.
We really did.
He was really good. And so now I'm going to go with my guard and another guy who I think is forgotten a little bit when you
You're
look
gonna
at
say me.
what he did was Jermaine Mayberry. Drafted at Texas A&M Kingsville as a tackle, then switched over to play guard. Definitely one of the underrated players in Eagles history. Also started the iMobile. So very
The iPhone?
good. No, not the iPhone. If he did the iPhone, then he'd be pretty well off. But I think that rounds out my offensive line to be pretty stellar, if I must say. But brings it over to you, Gayle. You only have a couple spots left, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at defensive end. I think
Right, you still need another edge rusher there.
this one, he did have a phenomenal year. I thought he brought some juice that year. The Freak was good for a little bit.
I don't know. Defensive end position right now is kind of like the tough. You only have a couple guys. William Fuller, who had a couple good years with the Eagles. Dennis Harrison, Carl Hairston, some older guys. It's pretty tough.
Or we can go. We can definitely round out the wide receiver position with Arkansas Fred
Fred
Barnett.
You got a little 90s feel. Late 80s, early 90s for your team, especially towards the end.
Tried to get spicy with it.
So that brings it back to
I'm
you,
also
Mike.
seeing Fred Barnett on Friday.
Yeah, so got Fred Burnett, Keith Byers. Yeah, you got to draft the people you're going to see.
All right. You did not make this easy on me because you took both of the guards that I wanted.
So now you have to do some digging. Do you
John
have any guards on
Wellborn.
your team? Oh, you have Harriman's. That's right.
Yeah. So he's being paired up with John Wellborn.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I guess. Really had to dig for that one there. So I need fullback yet.
You guys, either you guys have any centers?
I was just doing 2 interior linemen.
Oh, because you
I have
can't find a
coming
center.
up.
Well, I don't know what other. I mean, like you could have done like Hank Fraley, I guess. Jamal
Jim
Jackson.
Ringo, Hall of Famer.
Yeah, Jamal Jackson was there for a while. You got the best center probably ever of all time for any
Both
team.
of them, actually, if you think about it.
Yeah, but I do need a fullback. So, do I want to go Josh Perry? Do I want to go Cecil Martin? I'm going to go John Ritchie.
John Ritchie.
I have his jersey too. That's one you
Great
can't
guy.
have, Johnny. I'm keeping that one.
That's fine. I'll find my own. I can do that.
Oh, man.
Brings it back to Gayle now.
We need to send. We need to
Some
send
edge
over.
rushers.
Do I still need to? I can go with a. Trying to get creative here. I think Jamal Jackson at center,
Jamal Jackson.
but who is the other?
I'll tell you that Jim Ringo is a Hall of Famer, played a few years with the Eagles and was a Pro Bowler. So there's another old-time center. But
Yeah, but he's not cutting it.
David Alexander
They
played
weren't
in
built.
late 80s and early 90s, over 100 games with them at center.
Oh, I saw Jamal Jackson last week, so I'm giving him some love.
So you going with Jamal Jackson? Is that your pick?
I do think there's better centers, but
The only one I could think of would be maybe Jim Ringo. Otherwise, I think they're all kind of neck and neck when you look at Fraley, Jackson, David Alexander.
Hank Fraley, David Alexander.
Yeah. It's basically kind of Guy Morris. That's another throwback. That's the early 1980s.
Stan Walters was the left tackle, by the way.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah.
He has the left tackle name, Stan Walters. It just sounds like a left tackle.
Can we can't say Isaac Sumalo.
He was drafted as a center, but didn't get
Can't
that
say
position because of. If you want to put him there, he played it in college. I can give you that. That's where you want to go.
No, that's kind of weak. I'll just go Jamal Jackson.
Okay, brings me up. So I have 3 picks left with quarterback, linebacker, safety. The safety, this one's tough. I guess I'll go Rodney McLeod on that. And linebacker, my last linebacker here. I'm gonna go with Willie Thomas. Very underrated linebacker in his day. That shifts it over to you, Gayle. I believe you have 2 left, right? You have defensive end. And
Yep. Let's see, Brent Graham. It's up the board.
You got fullback.
I said Hugh
Oh, your other
Douglas.
linebacker. So linebacker, you have linebacker and defensive end.
I had Hassan Reddick.
You going just 2 linebackers and 3 corners, or are you going?
Oh, we get 3 corners?
If you want to do a nickel corner, sure. May as well get your other guy you were thinking about. Why not? And then you can end with your edge
Did
rusher.
someone pick Lito?
No. Lito's yours.
Someone pick
You want
Lito?
him.
For a third corner?
You going Lito?
Yeah, I don't see him written
Someone
down
pick
here.
Bobby Taylor?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, Mike got Bobby Taylor.
But no Lido.
Lito's got to be on there. As a third corner?
There you go.
So I don't have to pick another defensive end?
Well, it's up to you. If you want to put Hassan Reddick as your edge rusher, as your defensive end, edge defensive end, you could pick another linebacker. It's up to you how you want to do that last one. I'll give you both. How about this? We'll give you both picks. So you pick. See, we'll help you here. So you can't
There you go.
short change. So you can pick whatever. You want to go with another linebacker and then move Hassan to edge, you can do that. Or you can pick a defensive end and keep Hassan as a linebacker.
I think you keep Hassan as a linebacker. It strengthens the whole unit as a whole.
And one heck of a pass rush, that's for sure.
What would you say that? He's more of a outside linebacker.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
You can go with the freak here.
You could do that. Him, you could go, like I said before, you can go him, Dennis Harrison, Carl Hairston, Claude Humphrey, William Fuller. There's some names still there.
You think Fuller was better than Freak had a good Super Bowl run year.
Fuller played, I think, 94, 95, 96. And I believe he had 10 double-digit sacks in each of those years that he played with the Eagles. He went to the Pro Bowl. He played 3 years with the Eagles. Pro Bowler in all 3 years, 9.5, 13, and 13.
We'll go with Fuller.
William.
I could be easily talked into that.
Yeah, much better career than
that's it.
He had 35.5 sacks in 3 years.
Johnny, do I need anything else yet? Do you want me to take a center?
Yeah, maybe you should take a center.
All right. Then give me my mate. I know you keep talking about Ringo, but I loved that chubby face on Hank Fraley.
Honey buns.
Good selection.
So Hank Fraley it is.
Correct me if I'm wrong. He did not play in the Super Bowl, right? The 04 Super Bowl?
I believe he did. He was the center because I think the following season he got hurt, and that's when Jamal, I think, came in.
I see Jamal Jackson was the starter in 06.
Okay, so 05, Fraley
took
played
over
a little.
for Frank Fraley.
Fraley didn't have that long of a career, really.
No, he's actually a coach.
He only started here for 5 years.
So I will take my last pick, and then we'll get to the specialists and finish it off. I'm going Jalen Hurts as my quarterback. I'm going to go recency bias. I'll do all that. I know I have Norm Van Brocklin or Ron Jaworski, all those guys.
Michael
I'm
Vick.
going with the ultimate playmaker. To have a guy like Brian Westbrook behind him, you have fullback like Leonard Weaver, you have Harold, Deshaun, Devontae, Dallas Goedert, an elite offensive line. I'm going with Jalen Hurts as my quarterback for this.
Guy tried to juice up his roster.
I did.
He's a nice move, guy.
So now it brings us to the specialists, head coach. So we're not doing long snapper. We're not doing that. But kicker, punter. Actually, no. We'll just do kicker. We don't worry about punters. We'll do kicker, head coach, and a special teams player, whether it's a kick returner, whether it's a special teams ace, whatever you want to select there. There's just 3 of them, so it'll go Mike, Gayle, me, then Mike, Gayle, me. We're not going to do the snake on that one. So it is up to you, Mike.
You just have last pick?
Well, then you
Johnny's.
can go, Gayle. How about that?
No, Johnny had the
This
last
guy
pick.
trying to,
Yeah, I had the last pick. So it does go.
try to
Mike.
sneak around me. No, it goes back to me.
I mean, you can go
It does.
first.
Go
You
ahead.
want to-
Darren Sproles.
Ooh, Sproles. That's a good one for your specialist. Mike, it is up to you.
David Akers. Isn't he the all-time scoring leader in Philadelphia
Heck.
Eagles history?
I'm going Andy Reid.
I knew you would.
Is it back to me?
Yep.
Don't we have to go Dougie P?
That was going to be my pick, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, first Eagles Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, you could say Buddy Ryan. Oof. But Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl.
He did. So I think it goes back to me now. Correct? Let's see. Kind of hate picking the head coach, I'm not going to lie. That's a hard one because it's like Andy Reid, Doug Peterson, and there's a lot of question marks. It's not going to be Chip Kelly. I can tell you that. I guess I'll just pick a special teamer. I'm going to go Brian Mitchell.
Nice one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Brian Mitchell, for those of you younger Eagles fans out there, I think they forget how dynamic and special Brian Mitchell was as a kick and punt returner. And I believe in the body bag game as a backup quarterback for Washington, was he not?
Yep.
Yeah, that was something, man. So, but Johnny had to step away for a minute. Do you want to just take your next pick anyway? And then he can just make his picks when he gets back? Oh, he's back. Damn it, we were going to try to steal one from him.
All right, what did we take right now?
What was the last thing you heard?
I think does it go? It goes you, me. Whose pick is it? Mine or yours, Johnny?
Who was selected?
Well, what was the last thing you heard, Johnny?
My only pick. That's it.
All right, so you took Andy Reid, right? So it went Gayle.
Doug Peterson.
All right, so here's how it went. Gayle took Sproles. I took Akers. You took Andy Reid. Gayle took Doug Peterson. Then I took Brian Mitchell.
Ooh. So you took B. Mitch then.
I did.
I'm gonna take Jake Elliott, the second best kicker. So that throws it back over to you, Gayle. Your kicker is now.
Gayle, I want to remind you, Alex Henry has the highest kicking percentage, I think, in NFL history. So
Tom Dempsey played for the Eagles too.
He did.
Oh. Let's see. Tom Dempsey. see. I guess I'll go Tom Dempsey.
It's a good pick. It's a good pick. So that brings it back to me, correct?
What do you need? Yeah, because I think I still have
Any
to pick my-
specialist.
Yeah, do that, and then I will. I guess pick my head coach, right?
Yes. And for specialist, I'm going to go with I'm going to throw back here. Timmy Brown, who was a very good kick returner for the Eagles back in the 60s and late 60s, 70s. He's also my father-in-law's favorite player. So I hear a lot about Timmy Brown. So I'm going Timmy Brown.
Taking him over to Sean Jackson.
I already have Deshaun. I'm not going to take him twice. I know I could if I wanted to, but I want to be a little fair, you know.
Well, so all you young bucks out there know, only one team has defeated Vince Lombardi in the playoffs. It was the 1960 Philadelphia Eagles, coached by none other than Buck Shaw. That is my head coach.
Outside of the box pick.
That's
Buck Shaw,
how-
which should have been Greasy Neal, but I think he passed away. He only coached to 59. So
No Nick Sirianni love.
No, trust me, I love some Sirianni, but got to go with that one championship that we had to have hold us over for what 50 some years.
Yeah.
So
Buddy
that was
Ryan.
it. Look, Buddy
Buddy
Ryan
Ryan would
never
be
won a
nice.
playoff game.
No,
So, Buddy Ryan should have just been a defensive coordinator.
I
To
agree.
be honest with you, he was good with the defense, but when your offensive philosophy is go out
was
there and
reckless.
make a few big plays, and then
he was reckless.
then the defense will win it for you. That's not how you assemble a roster, to be honest with you. And love the guy, love the quotes, but never won a playoff game. So that'd
It's
be that.
tough, but I will post our teams and let everyone vote on and see who has the best team, the best roster. But I thought it was fun. A good
You wanna
exercise,
read out-
a good show.
You want to read off your squad?
So I have Jalen Hurts, Brian Westbrook, Leonard Weaver, Mark Carmichael, Jackson, Devontae, Dallas Goddard, Bob Brown, Jermaine Mayberry, Jason Kelsey, Evan Mathis, Lane Johnson. And my defense is Clyde, Javon Hargrave, Andy Harmon, BG, Seth, Chuck Bednarik, Willie T, Asante, Darius Slay, Bill Bradley, Ronnie McLeod.
How many corners did you get?
I only got 2 because I got 3 linebackers.
Okay.
So I went that route.
Since I'm in the middle, I'll go. We got Brando Cunningham, LaShawn McCoy, Terrell Owens, AJ Brown, Fred Barnett, Keith Jackson, Jason Peters, Brandon Brooks, Jamal Jackson, Sean Andrews, Trey Thomas, Keith Byers, Hugh Douglas, Jerome Brown, Adamkin Sue, Will Fuller, Jeremiah Trotter, Hassan Reddick, Brian Dawkins, Wes Hopkins, Troy Vincent, James Bradbury, Lito Shepard.
It's a good squad there.
Specialists Darren Sproles, Jake Elliott, and Doug Peterson.
Dougie P. Johnny, I do think before you do post these, you should post them anonymously. Because people see the name, they might just vote for the name of the
Yeah,
person.
I'll just team 1, team 2, team 3.
Because Gale's going to smoke everybody if they see his name up there. That's just how that goes. But my team, I got McNabb, Wilbur Montgomery, John Ritchie, that bleeding head of his, Irving Fryer, Mike Quick, Jeremy Macklin, Zach Ertz, Reggie White, defense. Oh, I skipped some of my linemen. I'm sorry. John Runyon, Stan Walters, Todd Harrimans, John Wellborn. We got Hank Fraley at center. Then defense, we got Reggie White, Trent Cole, Fletcher Cox, Mike Patterson, Bill Berge, D'Amico Ryans, Eric Allen, Bobby Taylor, Malcolm Jenkins, Andre Waters, and then our specialists are David Akers, Buck Shaw, Brian Mitchell.
It's a good team. It's a fun exercise.
All of these teams are good in my opinion.
Yeah. It's a long show, but again, a lot of stuff to cover. Again, I want to thank Gayle and Mike for joining me. It's a fun episode. I like doing this kind of stuff. Next week, I'm going to have friend of the show, Hollis Thomas, on. We're going to talk a little bit about the Eagles with training camp coming up. So I think it's going to be a fun show there. But with everything, the way we always end the show, with a very happy and joyful
Go Birds.
My own little spice I put in there. But a very happy and joyful Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Bird.
This is Matt Ware. Hey, for all the Eagle content you need, go follow All About the Birds. They do a damn thing. Check them out.
Hey Eagles fans, I may be in Tampa, but I know where to find the best Eagles content out there. Check out my friends at All About the Birds.
Philadelphia, what's up? This your boy Freddie Mitchell, aka Fred X. It's all about the bird.
All birds all the time. All birds all the time.
All About the Birds provides you with weekly analysis, game recaps, informative interviews, and it's all birds all the time.